What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's raining pretty hard. Don't really have a whole lot to do, but I got the bug for RC. So if y'all don't like RC car stuff, there's plenty of other videos you can watch on my channel. But thank y'all for tuning in and checking this stuff out. But this has been a hobby of mine for years, and I'm ready to get back into it. This is my old Schumacher 2-wheel drive buggy. And this is a Durtrax 4-wheel drive street car that I had. They're both Nitro cars, and I've neglected them for years and years. My son Clayton, he just got a new Traxxas Slash, and he's been ripping it around. It's electric, but I said, it's time to get this stuff out and start looking it over and seeing what we can do to get them running again. I do know this one, the starter, the pull cord broke on me, and I've had the rear diff JB welded for a long time. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, I drifted this for a while, and I found out that a locked rear differential really helped me a lot. I wasn't that great at drifting at the time, so a limited slip kept, especially being 4-wheel drive, kept straightening me up. So I had this locked and I can slide it all day long. I do have all the parts to fix this. I do not have a pull cord for that, but I can take care of that. And I think this is going to be a lot of work. I got to tear this whole thing down and clean it up, so this will be second. This one, it was running when I parked it. It's filthy, it's nasty. I need to go through it, so I'm going to take it apart. We had, back in my day, some of you older people might remember, we used to run the AM receivers, and we'd actually have to change the chips. Let's see if I got one. Let's see. Yep, right there. So this is the receiver I used to run on there. Anyways, if you got to a track with a bunch of people running, you'd actually have to change your chip out to a different frequency. So nobody had what's the word? Anyways, so nobody else's receiver or radio would mess with your car. So I have a newer, I bought this a few years ago, Spectrum radio and a receiver. I only have one receiver, so we can only work on one car anyways at a time. So I got that. I'm gonna upgrade the radio equipment. I need to fix the battery cable back here. It's this old AA pack. The pins are messed up on it. I can fix that easy. But and then the other issue was the fuel tank was leaking, or it wouldn't hold a vacuum. And Nitro, you have to run a vacuum to hold a seal. So again, a lot of work. This is a square tank, easy to get. This car can't get parts for. Gonna have to custom build a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna steal this tank off of this car and put it on here after I get it cleaned up and ready to run. So hang out. I'm gonna do a time lapse of me taking this thing apart and cleaning it up, and we'll get back to it. All right, there you have it. There's what's left of a Schumacher RC car. Now guys, remember this is this RC car is at least 20 years old. I think it was a little bit older. I bought it used, and I bought it 17 years ago. So anyways, the reason I took it apart the way I did was obviously this thing was absolutely disgusting dirty. If you see in the time lapse, there was just stuff just falling out of it like crazy. I never serviced it. I just drove it. I want to try to do a few upgrades. For example, the rear axles, the wheels on the Schumacher back then, and they might still have them like this, I'm not sure, but instead of a hex style nut like on the new Traxxas or Losi or anything like that, it's like this teeth crosshair kind of gear piece in there, and I have a feeling these tires are a little bit harder to get a hold of. I need some new tires, and even back before I stopped driving this thing, I was having a hard time finding these tires. So what I want to do is, I don't think it's going to be too hard. I want to see if I can find this style axle with, I got to measure this hub and see if I find one similar but with the hex style. I might can just swap this piece out, I'm not sure. So anyways, that was one thing I want to do. But the reason I took it apart how I did was because now I can clean each assembly separately. So I can do the rear, I can rebuild the shocks, put it back together. I want to straighten out the battery box. I hit a curb one time, I flipped it around backwards, and if you see, it's bent. So I'm going to straighten this back out, get the battery box straightened out, and I think I'm going to try to go to like a LiPo battery. I'm not sure if I can or not with this style receiver that I have. If not, I'll try to go maybe to a rechargeable battery pack and just hard mount it in here to where it doesn't come out, because the case that I always had back here always flipped off, and this thing would literally fly out the back, and I'd have to get up, you know, stop it and go get it to keep it from ripping the battery up. And I finally did it. It finally pulled all the pins out of my battery plug. So I think I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different there. And then the other main reason was the gearbox. I've never split this case, and it's been sitting for so long that when I rotated the wheels, it felt really grimy and tough. So I think I need to get in here. I'd like to clean out the gears inside, re-grease and stuff like that, and I don't have a schematic for it. So now that I took it out of the car, I think I'll lay it out, and I'll do it on camera so I can watch how I took it apart. And if I can't remember how to do it, I can always go back and watch the video to see how it come apart, so I can put it back together. So that's why I'm kind of glad I have this differential in one piece like this. This was a 3-speed transmission, or it is a 3-speed transmission, and there's the disc brakes for it. So this thing was a ripper. It's a 0.21 engine. Like I said, it was running when I took it apart. What I'm going to do, and I always kept after run oil in it. So every time I was done running it, I always put this in there. The motor is not locked down. It does spin freely, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour some oil down in through this exhaust port, and a liberal amount, and I'm gonna just slowly turn it over and make sure I don't have any rust or deposits. But I know you can't see it on camera, but if I look in there with a light, it looks really good in there and shiny and clean. So I'm not too concerned with the motor. I'm concerned with the carburetor. I can probably take it apart, clean it out, retune it, you know, all that stuff. So I think we're good there. So I'll quit blabbering. What I'm gonna do now, whether it's on camera or off, I'm gonna clean all this stuff back up, and after that, it's putting it all back together. It's really straightforward. But like I said, the whole purpose behind this was to start with a fresh car. This is 15-year-old dirt, so everything's been sitting here. Just go ahead and clean it up, start fresh. So if you made it this far and you're still interested, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. And if y'all like RC car videos, please give me an update. I'd love to hear feedback from people. So if you're watching this video and you enjoy it, let me know. If you don't like it, tell me why. Maybe we can make it better. But I need some type of feedback. Anyways, thank y'all, and stay tuned for more. Well, there you have it. All clean-ish. The plate, the skid plate is done. I thought about painting it, but really, it's just gonna be a yard basher anyway, so it looks a lot better than it did. I got all the parts cleaned. The differential is belt driven. I'll try to show you a quick time lapse, but I'm not trying to make this video way too long and boring. But inside here is a belt, and it goes between the rear axles and the transmission here. And the belt looked like it was in really good shape. There wasn't any dry rot. It didn't feel flimsy or anything like that, so I went ahead and put it back together. The grittiness was actually between the disc brake and the brake lever itself, and I ran it along. I put a little bit of drag on it and spun it a few times, and it felt really good, and I didn't feel the need to take all the way apart. I took the transmission apart and lubed up all the bearings and put it all back together, and all this stuff feels so much better now. Even the, oh, let's throw it on the ground. Even the turning the rear axles to the transmission, it feels really good. I'm actually turning it in my hand now, and it's not gritty at all. So we are ready to fly. So again, I'm not gonna repeat myself 15 million times, but make sure you like and subscribe on this channel. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and close the video out now, and I'll do the second video of me putting it back together and firing it up. So stay tuned for part 2, and again, subscribe, smash the bell, and please like and subscribe and comment. If you have any comments below, you know, any suggestions, make sure you hit up the comments below. I need some more feedback. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good day.
What are you doing?